Hello friends, I know that every second is important to who are facing many entrance exams. So in this video I am giving you some tips on physical quantity and dimensions topics by reviewing various previous year question paper. So here are your tip number 1. Same dimension, that is m0 l0 t minus 1. Now those are the frequency, angular frequency having the same physical dimension, that is the m0 l0 t minus 1, and the angular velocity, that is rad per second. And don't confuse with the angular frequency and angular speed. And velocity gradient, that is velocity by distance, that is to remember that whenever you heard about the word gradient, you should divide that physical quantity with respect to distance. Next is the ml2t minus 2, that is work, force into displacement, having the SI unit Newton meter or joule, and the internal energy nothing but the heat energy, and potential energy mass into acceleration due to gravity into height, and the kinetic energy, that is half into mass into velocity whole square. Here half, that doesn't have any dimension, and torque, force into distance, moment of force into distance, and moment of couple, that is also force into distance. Next is the ml minus 1 t minus 2, that is pressure, force per area, and stress is also force per area. And the AIIMS modulus, that is also stress per strain, but here is the strain that does not have any dimensions as well as SI unit, so we consider only stress. Stress is nothing but the Pascal, that is ml minus 1 t minus 2, that is valid up to bulk modulus and modulus of rigidity. And next is the energy density, that is energy per volume. Next dimension is the ml t minus 1. This dimension corresponds to two physical quantities, those are momentum and impulse. Momentum is mass into velocity and impulse is force into time. lt minus 1, sorry, here some mistake in this period, that is lt minus 2, and acceleration is velocity by time, and acceleration due to gravity, that is gm divided by r square. G is nothing but gravitational constant, and gravitational intensity is also measured in terms of acceleration. And mlt minus 2, that is force, weight, and energy gradient. Energy gradient, here it is again energy divided by distance. ml2 t minus 1, that is angular momentum, moment of inertia, and angular velocity. And Planck's constant, that is joule second or energy per frequency. And ml0 t minus 2, surface tension, that is force per length, and force gradient is also force per distance or force per length. And spring constant, that is K equals F by X, force divided by distance. Here are some of the physical quantities that do not have dimension or zero dimension. Those are strain and refractive index, and the relative density, that is density, the change in density divided by density, and the angle, radian and solid angle, these both are the supplementary units. And distance gradient, that is again distance by distance. Here is your tip number 2, that is if P is pressure, V is volume, M is mass, S is specific heat, L is latent heat, and delta T is rise in temperature, then ml2t minus 2 dimension that corresponds to the physical quantities PV, ml, and ms delta T, that is nothing but heat. And tip number 3, L length, G acceleration due to gravity, M mass, K force constant or radius of Earth. Here are some of the dimensional equations that has the dimension, that is m0 l0t. Pause the video and go through them. And tip number 4, L is inductance and R resistance, C capacitance. m0 l0t, the dimension corresponds to these three physical quantities or the dimensional equations. And here is your tip number 5. We listed 10 physical quantities that do not have the SI unit. Those are strain, specific gravity, relative intensity, and trigonometric ratios. And next is the refractive index and refractive luminance efficiency and quality factor or Q factor of coil and magnification. So, and keep on note that the dimensionless physical quantities may have SI unit, example angle and solid angle, but the physical quantities with no SI unit are always dimensionless quantities. And think about this note, and don't forget to subscribe and like.